everyone, this is Jackie Williams. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I want to share with you some fun ideas using the brand new Sunflower Embossing Folder. Now you'll notice that this one is extra large. It's large enough to fit 2 card fronts in at one time. So that makes it great for, if you're embossing quite a few things, but also makes it very useful for scrapbooking layouts and slimline cards because the embossing folder is that much longer. Okay, let's start with a few techniques. And this first one I want to share with you is actually using the deboss side, which is the other side. So you see that one side has the pattern coming out and the other has the flowers or the pattern going in. And both sides are equally beautiful. And for this idea, we're going to use the debossed side rather than the embossed side. And I'm going to take my ink pad, and you could use bubble bath or fresh freesia. I'm actually going to use both. And using a very light touch, I'm just going to drag that ink pad over that debossed side. And you'll see that it's picking up color on the higher parts, but because my flowers are recessed, they aren't picking up the color. So they will stay lighter. You can do this on the emboss side. I just personally don't like it quite as much. I'll just show you quickly what that looks like. So it looked like this. So it's picking up the highlights of the flowers. I think this is quite nice when you are using white ink. But for this, I do like it. And I do think it looks nice, but I just happen to like this side a little bit better. Okay, so that into a finished project, I couldn't resist. I just added a little bit of gold embossing powder, and I actually didn't use Versamark at all. Just the rubbing of the ink pad over the top created a little bit of static, perhaps. And so I just let the embossing powder stick where it wanted to, which was just in a few little highlights. And then just added a word and a couple of little bees. So I kept that one quite simple. So that is a nice, easy one when you want to do a quick project. Now I want to show you another way you can do that same technique, but step it up just a little bit more. So this time I'm still using the deboss side, but now I'm using basic white cardstock. And this time I'm going to use Pool Party ink. So I'm making that background Pool Party. I could go over it more so that this was more solid, but I quite like that variation of color there. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Now we can color in our flowers. So I think let's go traditional and have yellow sunflowers, or these big flowers will make yellow. I'm going to use Darling Duckling and a sponge dauber. And this idea I saw from a demonstrator in the US, well, I think the US, named Jean Wood. And I'm just going to go through and take my sponge dauber and color in those flowers. Oops, that was a little bit dark. This technique is actually pretty forgiving. You don't have to be super exact. And then let's go peach pie for these other flowers here. Okay, then we'll add some green in there for our leaves. Okay, I'm not loving how this is turning out. We'll add a bit of pecan pie in through the middle. Okay, I don't love it. So I think I'm going to take my pecan pie ink spot and maybe just go over that and see if we can make it look better. We still have that little bit of blue showing. Okay, well, you get the idea. Here's one that I made earlier, And this one is actually pretty similar with the orange flowers and the yellow bigger flowers, but I've done a pink background. So you can see it actually looks quite different just with that different color of background. Okay, so that's a really fun and easy and actually pretty quick idea because you're coloring with your sponge daubers. And here is a finished project. I just cut a little bit off and added a bit of that Country Woods folder or Country Woods paper there in the corner. Okay, now I want to share with you some examples using the embossed side. So for this one, I'm going to use the Elements of Text stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that on first. Got this upside down, but that doesn't matter. Okay, then we will emboss. So I've got the side with the Stampin' Up! Label on showing on the right side, and then we'll run that through the embossing folder. Okay, now once it's embossed, so we have the flowers coming out, I'm going to, for this one, use my sanding block. And I've done this on two-toned paper. So you could sand it, or you could add ink, white ink or colored ink, but now we've got that text in behind the flowers as well. So that looks quite pretty. And here's my finished sample with that effect there on the front. There you go. Okay, now I have a few other samples using the emboss side. So this one is, I've used the beautiful gallery papers and then embossed the beautiful gallery papers and then just went over the top with the pecan pie ink. So that's a different effect, but still very quick and easy. And for this one, I wanted to share with you that you can actually emboss and then cut out the flowers. So just wanted to show a sample with that. So I've got the sunflower folder there in panels in the background, and then did a separate one where I've inked it up with blending brushes and cut that out. And then this one's just a really simple white and silver. I thought it would be a beautiful wedding card, but also just showing that it's quite handy and easy to use for a slimline card because this is such a big folder. And then this one is my personal favorite. It took a little bit of time, but I embossed on watercolor paper and then just watercolored the flowers. And I embossed the whole piece and then had a few little bits left over, so made a second one. But this is a way that you could add quite a lot of color to it if you are someone who enjoys coloring. You could also not even watercolor, you could use your Stampin' blends, emboss a piece of white, and then use your Stampin' blends on those to get some color as well. So there are my samples for you. I hope you enjoyed that and found lots of inspiration. All of these are very quick to do except for this one that involves a little more coloring. Thank you so much for joining me. Please leave me a comment and of course subscribe. I'd love to see you again. This is Jackie Williams and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.